The wind carried whispers of the past through the valleys of Dewar Cheen, a land once divided by walls so high, even the sky seemed afraid to cross. In this place, humanity had long forgotten the sound of kindness. Trade had stopped, laughter had faded, and the people on both sides of the ancient stone barrier believed that the ones beyond it were their enemies. But history has a strange way of remembering the hearts that dare to heal what the world breaks. 1. The boy who listened to the wall. Ian was born in the shadow of the wall of Dewar Cheen. His mother used to tell him stories, not of kings or wars, but of voices that could still be heard if one listened closely. The wall, she said, is not just made of stone. It's made of fear, and fear can crumble faster than rock. Every night, when the world fell silent, Ian would press his ear against the cold surface and imagine the lives on the other side. Were they like him? Did they wake up hungry? Did they cry when the rain leaked through their roofs? He was only 10 when he first heard it, a faint sound, like humming. A melody. He froze. Someone was singing. Ian's heart pounded. He whispered, "Hello." And for a long time, there was only wind. Then a voice answered, soft and trembling, "Who are you?" And that was how it began, the story that would one day change the history of Dewar Cheen. 2. A friendship across stone. Her name was Lynn. She was 12 and lived on the eastern side of the wall. Her village called the people of Ian's land the Forgotten Ones, enemies who had betrayed their ancestors long ago. She didn't understand hatred, she only knew loneliness. Each night, Lynn and Ian spoke through the cracks in the wall. They shared stories, laughter, even dreams. She told him about the river that glowed with lanterns during their new year. He told her about the desert that bloomed with flowers once every decade. Their friendship grew in silence, hidden like roots beneath the earth. Sometimes, Lynn would hum, and Ian would tap on the stone in rhythm. It was their language, music over division. But walls do not like whispers of peace. One evening, guards from Lynn's side heard the tapping. They arrested her father, accusing him of espionage. Ian waited that night, and the next, but Lynn never came again. 3. The lost years. Years passed. The world changed, but the wall did not. Ian grew into a man hardened by work and sorrow. His mother died during a drought. He buried her near the base of the wall, whispering, "Maybe now you'll finally see what's on the other side." He could have left. Many did. But Ian stayed, working as a stone mason, ironically repairing the very wall that had stolen his childhood friend. Each strike of his hammer felt like betrayal. He didn't hate the people across the border, he hated the silence between them. Then one day, as he chipped away at the crumbling stones, he uncovered something, a small, rusted charm shaped like a dove, wedged deep inside a crack. On its wing was carved a single word, hope. Ian froze. Lynn had once told him she wore a charm shaped like a dove. 4. The journey of hope. That night, Ian couldn't sleep. The charm glowed faintly in the moonlight, and with it came an idea, wild, impossible, but burning with purpose. If walls could be built by hands, they could be unbuilt by them too. He began working in secret. At first, he only removed loose stones near the ground, hidden behind fallen vines. Then he cleared more, carefully, quietly, until a small hole appeared, just large enough for light to pass through. Through that crack, for the first time in centuries, the wind from both sides touched. The air was different, warmer, softer. But news travels fast in places bound by fear. The authorities found him. They called him a traitor, a fool who endangered their safety. He was beaten and imprisoned. Still, even in the dark cell, Ian smiled. Because before they dragged him away, he saw it, a single white paper lantern floating through the hole he had made, crossing from the other side. It carried a message written in careful strokes. I never stopped listening. Lynn was alive. 5. The uprising of kindness. Years later, Dewar Cheen faced its greatest drought. Crops failed, rivers dried, and desperation turned neighbors into enemies. The government could no longer hide behind the wall. Hunger crosses borders faster than soldiers. The people were dying. Then, from the other side, came something no one expected, aid. Boxes of grain and medicine appeared near the wall at dawn. No flags, no demands, only a note written in both languages. We remember your kindness. Let this wall feed you. It was Lynn. Now a leader in her community, she had convinced her people that compassion was stronger than any border. When Ian was released, frail but alive, he returned to the wall and found children from both sides passing bread through the cracks. He dropped to his knees and wept. 6. The fall of the wall. The world watched as history unfolded in Dewar Cheen. For the first time in generations, soldiers laid down their weapons, not because of treaties but because of kindness. Farmers from both sides began to work together, digging channels through the foundation of the wall to share water. And one morning, as the sun rose crimson over the horizon, the first section of the wall fell. No one commanded it. No war was fought. It fell because people no longer believed it needed to stand. Ian, older now, stood at the ruins holding Lynn's dove charm. He had not seen her in decades, yet when the dust cleared, she was there, her hair silver, her smile exactly as he remembered. They didn't speak. They simply stood where the wall once divided them, and the wind carried their silence into the open sky. 7. The new history. Dewar Cheen became more than a place, it became a symbol, a reminder that peace begins not in palaces but in whispers through stone. Children grew up hearing the story of Ian and Lynn, how two souls who refused to hate rewrote the destiny of nations. The old generation called it the history of Dewar Cheen, but the young had a better name for it. The day the wall learned to listen. 8. The legacy. Decades later, travelers would come from across the world to visit the site. There was no wall anymore, only a long field of wildflowers stretching endlessly between east and west. In the center stood a single stone plaque. Greater than, here stood the wall of Dewar Cheen, not torn by war, but unbuilt by hearts that believed in something greater. Ian and Lynn were both gone by then, but their story lived on, taught in schools, painted in murals, sung in songs of hope. And on certain nights, when the wind was right, locals swore they could still hear the faint sound of tapping, like a boy and girl talking across eternity. 9. The moral. Walls are not only made of stone. They're made of pride, fear, and the belief that different means dangerous. But history shows that one act of kindness, one word of courage, one voice of compassion, can make even the tallest wall crumble. Dewar Cheen was once a wound on the face of the world. Now, it is a scar that reminds humanity how love can heal what hate divides. 10. The end, and the beginning. Generations later, a young boy named Tarek, a descendant of Ian, stood where the wall once was. He placed his hand on the old foundation stone and whispered, "Hello." And somewhere, in the gentle rustle of the wind, a voice answered, soft and distant, like an echo of history. "Who are you?" And so, the story began again. Moral message. Greater than no wall is stronger than compassion. No history is greater than humanity. The true history of Dewar Cheen is not about what was built, but what was broken down by love.